Dr. T.S. Devadoss, who is former director, Dr. Radhakrishnan Institute for Advanced Study in Philosophy, University of Madras.
Respected Chairman, distinguished scholars on the dais and off the dais, and my good friends, Professor Ashok Vohra is here, he's come from Delhi, and Professor R.S. Sinha, Chairman of the Indian Council of Philosophical Research, fountainhead of promoting philosophical studies in our country is here. So, and dear students, I'm very much delighted to see as one of the participants coming from Afghanistan. We only pray to God, the Supreme Lord, that besides peace prevailing in the whole world, especially in India, which is a Punya Bhumi, as Swami Vivekananda said, is already ingrained with the ideals of philosophical truth. And I'm sure the same peace will prevail in Afghanistan soon, very much. This is our humble prayer. After all, we live in a society which is not compartmentalized. Mahatma Gandhi never believed in the view of compartmentalization of life as political, social, economic, or religious anything. He always considered a harmonious blending of all the eternal principles in life that could be enshrined in our heart. He said, if I'm not repeating what I said in the early morning, quoting Gandhiji, because I believe that whatever Gandhiji said has to be learned by the younger generation of students present here. This lecture is not meant for very senior scholars who are present here, but for the younger generation of people. He said, I'm a man of peace. I believe in peace. I do not want the peace that you find in the stone, but I want the peace that is embedded in the human heart, which is exposed to all the arrows of human misery, unquote. Friends, the last words of the sentence reflect on the human misery and the downtrodden. This is exactly what Swami Vivekananda thought in terms about it, that the lowest of the low should be considered as a top priority for his upbringing. Similarly, the same ideals are found in all the spiritual texts that are embodied not only in Hinduism, but in Buddhism, Jainism, Islamic studies, and Jaina studies. It is this confluence of philosophical and spiritual ideas which permeate from the various religions that binds us together as one human unity. It is in this context, friends, Gandhian ideal of Sarvodaya, which aims at the welfare of all, Antyodaya is the last. It is the elevation of the lowest of the low, Antyodaya, to Sarvodaya, seeking the welfare of all, which should be the prime goal of all our endeavors. It is in this spirit, the Vedantic truths also find an echo in what Mahatma Gandhi said. I believe in Advaita Vedanta. I believe in the essential unity of man and, for that matter, of all that lives. If one man gains spiritually, the whole world gains spiritually. This is the spiritual doctrine of Sarvodaya, which is enshrined. Another aspect of Gandhi's thought we must try to reflect is what was mentioned in the morning session also, quoting a passage from Isavashya Upanishad. Isavashyam idham sarvam, tena tatkena bhujanjitamagradaha. All the land belongs to God. It is not that we human beings can possess the land or usurp the land or cause certain destruction to the land. Land is very sacred. The idea ingrained in this doctrine, Gandhiji said, if only the first line of the Isaupanishad is left intact, Hinduism would live forever. if one line of the Isa Upanishad, Isa Vashyam Idam Sarvam, if that line is enshrined in the human hearts, the Hinduism would, not only Hinduism, the entire humanity. But unfortunately, we are encroaching upon the very possession of our land, the goddess mother holy. As a student of political science some several decades back, I still remember that I quote once again, a conquering power sets no limits to its conquest, but is urged by necessity to advance further afield what seems to be an imperative necessity. I hope we catch the point that we always think in terms of usurping the other man's land, whether it is your own or no man's land, whatever it may be. That sort of attitude must be removed from our heart. It is then that we can think in terms of Sarvadharma Samanatva or Sarvadharma Samabhava, equality of all religions, equal respect for all religions. Respect for religions comes from the bottom of your heart. Friends, it is not so simple as that. A formal respect of getting some adulations from others will not help us in any way. Respect means mutual respect. I respect you not as a human being. I respect your sentiments. I respect the great ideals that are found in your heart and that is being practiced in it. All that comes into the being. When you see before me Mother Teresa, here is a lady who hailed from the West, settled down in Calcutta, and preached to the whole world that service to humanity is the essence of wisdom. Service to humanity is the essence of wisdom. But Gandhiji laid a step further and said, selfless service is what is absolutely essential. If you are going to think in terms of serving a nation or an individual or anyone for any selfish motive or anything in consideration of receiving from other, that consideration is no consideration at all. It is this juristic principle which is enshrined in the Indian Constitution as embodied as India is a secular state with a democratic setup. Democratic setup with a federation of states. The great political scientist once remarked, Dicey, federalism is a political contrivance intended to reconcile national unity with the maintenance of state rights. That attitude of federalism will not hold good unless there is checks and balances between the two. Here comes the Constitution and the judiciary as all this. I just bring out the backdrop of all this mainly because of the factor that if you try to analyze the concept of dharma, well, quoting from Bhagavad Gita as we normally do, but performing one's own dharma is more important than performing other dharma. So dharma is what is absolutely essential. It is the distinction between rights and duties. There is a correlation between rights and duties. Mahatma Gandhi laid great emphasis on the purity of means. He said, I quote, take care of the means. The end will take care of itself. I quote, as the means, so the end. So the dichotomy of this means and end problem is a perennial problem which is when put into practice, we find ourselves somewhere in the lost world. Friends, whatever may be the general principles that could be outlined, I would only say, quoting from Dr. Bharatan Kumarappa, who said, Sarvodaya is India's distinctive contribution to the world of thought. Friends, the closest followers of Mahatma Gandhi are no more here. Sri Jayaprakash Narayan, I'm sure Professor Ramji Singh knows it because he must have moved very closely with Sri Jayaprakash Narayan as well as Acharya Vinoba Bhave. The philosophy of Acharya Vinoba Bhave enshrined in the Bhudan, Gramdan, Shramdan, and all the Dan movements did succeed to a very great extent due to the charismatic leadership of the great twin leaders or followers of Gandhiji. And I hope that these inspirational ideas which permeated from the great leaders of the past will continue in the present, and hope that Ramarajya Mahatma Gandhi will be fulfilled in the near future. Thank you very much.